So, my quest to get to the Jungle Book remake, the one released in 2016, which is the only Disney live-action remake I like. I have, but I want to view all the Jungle Book movies and review all of them, at least all the ones made by Disney, because dear gosh, there are so many not made by Disney that it is not going to happen. Some of them I just never want to see. Sorry, Mowgli on Netflix. I will never watch you. But yeah, I don't know. I've been watching some shows. So I'll talk about that and some reviews that'll be coming up later. But it may take me some time to get through all these Jungle Book movies. Because of that, I'm not sure if it will, but I'm just giving you a heads up on that. But check out this sick Flintstones shirt. Sweet. Anyways, I watched Jungle Book 2, and some of my thoughts, if you didn't watch my previous review of the Jungle Book, the original 1967, it's a fine movie. Just story-wise, it's kind of weak. There's a lot of filler. There's a lot of just padding out the runtime. And maybe that adds to some of the charm of some of these movies. I've come to realize that a lot of people, that's what makes these movies enjoyable, is, with that filler, it adds like a sense of atmosphere to the story. And I guess that's nice and all, but, I want a story when I watch a movie. And, as a kid, that movie really worked for me and I loved it. But now I'm older and it just doesn't work for me anymore. This movie is 10 times worse. That's expected from Disney sequels. But this is not your typical bad Disney sequel. The problem with this movie is it's just, well, I guess this is a problem with a lot of them. But this is a rehash movie. But it does it in a way that deletes everything the characters learned in the last movie. So in this movie, Baloo goes in the jungle to bring back Mowgli, who's missing the jungle, back to the jungle, and then Shere Khan is on the loose trying to get him. So it's the same story. They go to the same locations. They play the same freaking songs over and over again. They played Bare Necessities 3 times. 3. And they rehash everything in this freaking movie. But they do it in a way that just deletes the ending of the first movie. Not like that didn't happen, because it did, but everything they learned at the end of that movie, right? The story is that Mowgli belongs with his own kind. The animals belong with their kind. That's the story. And when you just watch that, it's like, okay, there we go. We're moving somewhere, in the story. And that's the end of the story. That's where it wrapped up. You see how the characters go off happily. And now all that didn't happen. And it's dumb, because it is just a rehash. It doesn't add anything to the story, except you see the characters that you already assumed lived happily ever after did live happily ever after, which you already saw. So it's like, come on. It's like, the only thing that's better is the climax inside this like temple and stuff. That was a really cool climax, but like, it was better than the first movie's climax. But it's like, but the rest of the movie's awful. And I always assumed when I watched the original as a kid that the reason Mowgli could understand all the animals is because, well, he was raised in the jungle, so he speaks their language. But in this movie, you got all these kids and that he's in the village with, and that one girl from the first movie, and they understand the language. There's even a part that's kind of awkward where his dad, or his adopted dad, pulls off his sleeve and shows some claw marks. Now, why would he have those, right? Because, I mean, did he just go into the jungle and fight like a tiger, and the tiger didn't speak to him? He just like, why would a tiger Like, it doesn't make sense. This is something that's actually fixed in the Jungle Book remake, where they tell you kind of through a sequence how Mowgli's parents died and how like Shere Khan got that scar, why he hates man. You know, you see all this, and it's a lot better in that movie. And you know, that sequence is actually one of the worst scenes in the movie, but it's still better than this movie altogether, because it's just like, you know, there should have been a moment in the script here where Mowgli's dad finds Mowgli in the jungle and tries to take him back, and then he's like, no, and he explains his backstory, and that would have made the story better and fixed it. And it just, the story doesn't connect here very well. The script wise and dialogue wise, it's horrible, because you know, you can tell that it's like, let's dumb this down for little kids because little kids are stupid, you know, and they dumb it down, and it's just like, and all the new songs here are not very good. They're not memorable. They're not interesting. They go on way too long. And it's just a boring, meh, nothing movie. I don't know what to say about it, because there is nothing to say about it. Don't watch this movie. Simple as that. Because it frankly isn't a movie. It's a 1 hour and 17-minute advertisement for the first Jungle Book movie and its best scenes, with some added extra filler within that. So, you know, and like I said, I always prefer, if you want to see an animated Jungle Book, watch the original. But if you want to see the best Jungle Book, I would recommend the most recent remake. Of course, I haven't seen the original remake. It's just so weird. It's so weird. There's so many Jungle Book movies. Why is there so many Jungle Book movies? And it's just funny how, like, there's a Jungle Book remake before this, and a Lady and the Tramp remake before this. Or not Lady and the Tramp, 101 Dalmatians. Nobody remember these and talks about these, and yet these new ones that we're still making a bunch of them, and they make money, and people claim to love them, but then they never talk about them anymore. So I don't understand it, but it happened.